Good morning, students. Today I'm going to take third module of marketing management, and it is basically we'll be looking upon to market segmentation, target marketing. So these are the contents: market segmentation, targeting, and positioning. And the next thing we'll look upon to is levels and patterns of segmentation, effective segmentation, how to do effective segmentation. Then how do you find the target markets? Once the target markets are decided, how you'll position the product to the segment, that is to your target customers, and the strategies adopted for that. And towards the end, we'll be looking upon to what is brand repositioning as well as what is perceptual mapping. So actually, why should actually companies go in for segmentation? Or whom do companies segment? Companies generally segment the consumers. And why should companies go into segment consumers? Because before the company decides upon the marketing mix, definitely the company has to know to whom this product is going to be marketed. So generally a market, if we say, a market constitutes of people or institutions with sufficient purchasing power, authority and willingness to buy. But the complete market cannot be a target area for the company selling any kind of a product. So definitely each and every company will have a target market. So target market is a specific segment of customers most likely to purchase a particular product. So with this insight, effective targeting requires identify and profile distinct group of buyers who differ in their needs and preferences. That is, even if we take Kerala as a whole as a market or India as a whole as a market, we cannot find everybody with homogeneous needs or everybody with uniform needs. There are always groups of people who have their own set of needs. So this is where identification of the target market is important. So company will have to select one or more market segments to enter, then establish and communicate the distinctive benefits of their product offering to these target segments to whom they are actually targeting. So they actually need not sell it to everybody. But there are certain cases or certain products are there which can be actually sold to a mass market. But mostly the products are such that they can be only sold to a particular group of consumers. Then they have to establish and communicate the distinctive. So these are the kind of 4 levels of micro marketing generally how companies does. Either they do marketing to target segments or they sell to niches. What is niche? Niche marketing. Niche is always a set of consumers who have got a special set of needs. Like we can say that Khadi products are being sold to a niche. Fab India might be having a kind of niche customers. Okay, certain kind of herbal products like Himalaya, they all will be having a set of niche customers who actually prefers natural products. Organic products will be having a set of niche customers. Then certain products are actually marketed to local areas alone. Only there are certain products are there which are only available in Kerala or might be in a particular district in Kerala or a particular district in Tamil Nadu. So that is also one way of marketing. So that will be the segment. And then there is also one-to-one marketing, that is marketing directly to individual or meeting the customer directly and marketing. So now we move on to what is market segmentation. The concept of market segmentation is based on the fact that all consumers are not alike. So that has to be our first assumption, that is all consumers are not alike or all consumers are not homogeneous. They don't have homogeneous needs. They differ in their needs, wants, income, education, lifestyle, and so on. So market segmentation is a process of dividing the heterogeneous market. The whole market to which a company addresses will be having heterogeneous kinds of customers. So dividing the heterogeneous market into relatively homogeneous subgroup of consumers with somewhat similar needs or characteristics is what you call it as segmentation. So market segmentation is a process of dividing heterogeneous market into relatively homogeneous subgroup of consumers with somewhat similar characteristics. A market segment is a group of individuals, groups or organizations who may share the same interests, traits and characteristics. Like as teenagers, you can be considered as a market segment. Old age people can be considered as a market segment. kids can be considered as a market segment. So it is always a group of individuals or a group of people who share the same interests, traits, and characteristics. The consumer segments may have similar needs, wants, and expectations. Therefore, businesses should ask themselves which segment should they serve. To answer this question, the businesses must determine the most appropriate ways to distinguish and to differentiate their segments. Once the segments have been identified, they must customize their offerings to satisfy each and every one of them. All of you might be knowing about the brand Horlicks. Horlicks is to which kind of customers Horlicks is being sold to. Many of might say that it is kids. Is Horlicks being sold to kids alone? No. Initially or previously or years back it was actually considered as a child's energy drink. But from that Horlicks has evolved over time, and now Horlicks is actually catering to various segments. There is Horlicks for diabetic patients, there is Horlicks for old age people, there is Horlicks for women, there is again Horlicks for pregnant women. So they have identified so many of sub segments to whom they can actually sell Horlicks. So once they have identified those kind of sub-market segments, they have actually customized their product or at least branded their product in such a way that each of this is being sold to these kind of segments. Might be they might have different packagings with different color bottles. The color of the Horlicks itself will be different. The flavors will be different. So this is how they have actually differentiated their product for different kinds of segments. So market segmentation are based on three basic assumptions. The first assumption is that many markets are significantly but not completely heterogeneous regarding consumers' needs, wants, use requirements, taste and preferences, and therefore can be divided into smaller, meaningful, relatively homogeneous segments of consumers. So always market can be grouped into a set of consumers having homogeneous needs. That is the first assumption. A firm's market offering, including price, promotion, distribution channels, can often be designed to meet the needs, wants, taste, and preference of each segment. For each kind of segment, the marketing mix also has to be different. Pricing has to be different, the product offering has to be different, packaging has to be different, how they distribute it has to be different. And the third assumption is that for many firms, a strategy of targeting specific segments can lead to competitive advantages in the marketplace and in turn superior financial performance. Might be selling a product to a particular target segment can really give you an edge over your competitors. Just take the example of Bournvita and Horlicks, or Horlicks and Boost. I think Horlicks has got more of a variance. They're actually targeting to different subsegments, whereas Boost doesn't have. So definitely there's a competitive edge over your close competition. So what are the criteria for effective segmentation? Market segmentation cannot be used in all the cases. So to be effective, segmentation must meet the following basic requirements. So these are the criteria for effective segmentation. The first criteria is market segments must be measurable in terms of both purchasing power and size. The segment has to be relatively of a good size, and the consumers within that segment should have the purchasing power for that particular product. Okay, Audi cannot consider rural market as their segment because that does not have the purchasing power, even though it has got a huge size. Marketers must be able to effectively promote and serve the considered market segment. The market segments must be sufficiently large to be potentially profitable. The number of segments must match the firm's capabilities. In certain cases, a firm might only be able to address one segment. Certain firms might be able to address multiple segments. So always firms have to choose a target market such that it can suit the firm's capabilities. Otherwise, it will be a big failure. This is a condition where there is no market segmentation. Companies doesn't know you have got a huge heterogeneous set of customers. When you segment your customers by gender, like women, men, by age, you are actually categorizing by their age. So now we are just moving on to how do you segment your consumer markets. You can have various ways of segmenting your consumers. The first method of segmenting consumers is geographic segmentation. Second one is demographic segmentation. Third one is psychographic segmentation. Fourth one is behavioral segmentation. Along with this, you can actually say that product benefit segmentation, usage segmentation, and so on. So, what is geographic segmentation? Dividing an overall market into homogeneous groups on the basis of their location. That is, if we can consider India as four geographic locations like North India, South India, Eastern, Northeast, Western India, and so on. That is based on the geographic locations. Same in world market, sometimes US, Canada, Europe, all are being classified into one geographic group. China, India, Japan, Korea, all these are being considered to another geographic group. Maybe the Middle East and Africa is being considered as another geographic group. So this is how the geographic locations are being classified. Geographic segmentation does not ensure that all customers in a location will make the same buying decision, but it helps in identifying some kind of a general patterns within that geographic area. Okay, basically if you classify it as North India, for a company who's selling tea, basically all the North Indians are tea drinkers when compared to South Indians. The preference of the tea is more rather than coffee. Maybe coffee is more prominent in South India. So this is how you can, at least a preference. Pampers, you can see this, and this is for actually for the countries experiencing acute winter. They have actually classified their segments into based on geographic locations. This ad is an excellent example of geographic segmentation. If you go to the website and see, you can see for different countries they will be selling. Nestle also have got geographic segmentation. Many of the companies have a mix of parameters to segment, like geographic, combination of geographic and demographic, demographic and psychographic. So these are the kind of segmentation generally. So geographically, the global disposable diapers market has been segmented on the basis of four major regions. For diapers, they have two like this: North America, US, Canada, and others like Alaska and so on. Asia Pacific, China, India, Japan, South Korea, and rest of the back countries like the Southeast Asian countries. Europe, you have UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Eastern Europe, and rest of the Europe. South Africa, Arab countries, rest of the Middle East, and Africa. All those comes into another kind of geography. So the disposable diaper market in Asia Pacific is expected to hold the largest share by 2025. So that is expected. The second classification of segmenting consumer market is based on the demographic factors. All of you might be knowing that as demographic is basically age, income, sex, occupation, education, size of your household, stage of your family life cycle, even your age life cycle. So demographic segmentation, these are the factors: age and life cycle, life stage, gender, income, generation, social class, etc. Coca-Cola goes in for demographic segmentation. They also actually base fundamental categories based on geographic segmentation. They also have demographic segmentation based on age group 15 to 25 years old and 40 plus. Gender, they also target both genders with wide variety of drinks. Then also they have classification based of income. Segments are different income level. For example, by packaging, for low income level they have got the returnable glass bottles. For high level income they have got the tin, the Coke tins they have. So this is how we. This is again General Electric insurance. How is the segmentation? Segmentation is actually based on age. Again, Dole, it is again kids food product. It is again segmentation by age. Many firms identify market segment also on the basis of age. Products are often designed to meet the specific needs of the certain groups. You can see the shape of the product in this form of stars, which is actually able to attract children. Baby food, Dole developing a product specifically for children. That is some way to attract children. The flavors they use is to attract children. This is Bank Al Habiba Bank based in Pakistan, again targeting the senior citizens. Segmenting by household types. The traditional family has declined over years, especially in our country. Single parent families, single person households, and non-family group households have more than doubled during the same time. And mainly now we have double income, no kids, that is the DINGs. You call it as short form as DINGs, double income, no kids. Then there are a lot of bachelors staying in the city. So targeting those people is where these kind of ready to heat and to eat products are available, especially based on the household types. You can also see the ready to cook idli, those are batter. You can see the appam batter, then the ginger garlic paste. All these are actually products catering to these kind of basically based on demo. And also Engels' law states that three general statements based on his studies on the impact of household income change on consumer spending behavior. As per Engel, as family income increases, a small percentage of expenditure goes for food. The major percentage of spending goes on to housing and household operations, and clothing remains constant. The percentage spent on other items such as recreation and education also. Travels, holidays, all these things increases. Jaguar again actually segmentation based on the next kind of segmentation is psychographic segmentation. So psychographic segmentation, what is psychographics? Psychographics is a science of using psychology and demographics to better understand consumers. In psychographic segmentation, buyers are divided into different groups on the basis of psychological or personality traits, lifestyle, or values. People within the same demographic group can exhibit very different psychographic profiles. Okay, even if you categorize by demography, within that group you can again see people differ based on their personality traits, their lifestyle, and their value system, etc. So one of the most popular commercially viable classification systems is called as a Wahl's framework, by which you understand the psychography. I just go to the previous slide where Coke has done the psychographic segmentation. People who are Coke actually focuses on people who are brand conscious. Brand conscious actually find it as some kind of achievement or self-expression to drink Coke. Okay, so that is again how they classify that, how they want to show, classify based on psychographics. The consumers will try to show their status by drinking Coke. The level of education is another factor that the company is paying attention to. In a high percentage education, the company can use advertisements to convey the company message. Because Coca-Cola is a recognized world brand, people will drink. Again, psychographic segmentation, which is being reflected in marketing messages. Kellogg's targets health-conscious consumers with brands such as Special K Product 19, again based on the lifestyle. Old Spice is targeting the active sports lifestyle with high endurance deodorants. So again, both these brands actually based on psychographic. Now again, there is a few more segmentations called as product-related segmentation, dividing a consumer population into homogeneous groups based on the characteristics of their relationship to the product. It can take the form of segmenting based on benefits that people seek when they buy. That is, when you buy a product, you might be seeking certain kind of benefits. So those kind of people will be grouped together. Usage rates of the product and consumers' brand loyalty towards it. So benefits focuses on the attributes that people seek in a good or service and the benefit that they expect to receive from that good or service. Might be people drink green tea to burn calories or to have a very good health. Groups consumers into segments based on what they want a product to do for them. So that is why now every tea manufacturer have got their own brand of green tea also, because they have found out that kind of a segment group. Again, mouthwash, Listerine, again segmenting by the benefits sought. Then there is again segmentation based on the usage rate, segmenting by grouping people according to the amount of a product that they buy and use. Might be certain kind of this mobile telecom service providers segment their consumers based on the usage rate. That's how many calls they do, how many international calls they do, and so on. Markets often divided into heavy user, moderate user, and light user segments. But generally, we say that the Pareto principle works. The 80-20 principle holds that a big percentage of products revenue, roughly 80%, comes from the relatively small loyal percentage, and around 20% of the total. So what is a market segmentation process? The first one is identify segmentation process. Then stage 2, develop the relevant profile of customers, at least have a rough idea of who should be the customers. Then work out a forecast on the market potential of those customers. then focus on market share, how much you can achieve the market share, and then finally go into selecting your specific segment. So strategies for reaching, once you segment how you reach different target markets. So these are the 4 kinds of strategies to reach the target markets: undifferentiated marketing, differentiated marketing, concentrated marketing. We'll just look onto this. Undifferentiated marketing is the market is one single marketing mix for the entire market. Okay, especially the mass marketing. Might be, you can say, certain kind of FMCG products like certain kind of talcum powders, toothpaste, certain types of toothpaste. They have that is it is actually being marketed to a mass market. Second category is differentiated marketing. You will have, if the company is addressing 3 segments, to all the 3 segments they will be having a different marketing mix. The third one is concentrated marketing. The company will have a marketing mix that will be only focusing on to one particular segment. Every other segment will be ignored. So we have 3 kinds of target market coverage strategy. One is undifferentiated marketing or mass marketing, differentiated marketing, and the third one is concentrated marketing. So in concentrated marketing, again you can see there is a single segment concentration, one product. P stands for product, the M stands for markets. One product for one particular segment. Also in concentrated marketing, you can see multiple products for different segments. P1 is for market 3, P2 is for market 1, and P3 is for market 2. Like that also you can. Then there is product specialization is also there. Like one single product only the company will have, but that will serve across all the 3 markets. Then there is market specialization. You will only focus on one particular market, but you will have multiple products for that particular market. So these are the various kinds of patterns of target market selection. A company can choose any of these kind of patterns. Certain cases they go in for the complete market coverage. The next one is positioning. So what is positioning? Now we have learned what is segmentation, how target markets are being chosen, or what is target marketing. The third one is positioning. So once a target market is identified, the next step for the company is to actually place a product which they want into the minds of the consumers in the target market. So that particular step is what we call it as positioning. Act of designing the company's offering or product and image to occupy a distinctive place in the mind of the target market. So positioning provides a synergy among 4 P's. So the 4 P's have to be looked upon such that this kind of a positioning can be done into the minds of. So choosing a positioning strategy. First one is identifying the possible competitive advantages that particular product has over your competitors. Select the right competitive advantage you have. It can be based on price, it can be based on the product attribute. Your competitive advantage it can be based on the distribution channel, it can be based on your communication strategies, whatever is that. Choose the right competitive advantage and communicate that particular competitive advantage and deliver the chosen position. So that has to be your position into the minds of the consumer. If Volvo, we always consider Volvo as a very safe vehicle. Okay, so they have actually positioned themselves based on safety. So in every advertisement of theirs, they'll be communicating that particular positioning statement. BMW always communicates about the driving experience. So positioning is placing a product, a place a product occupies in consumers' mind relative to the competitive product. Positioning is not what you do to a product. Positioning is what you do to the mind of the prospective consumer. Prospect means prospective consumer or your future consumers. Positioning is how you differentiate yourself in the mind of your prospective customers. For example, certain kind of Indian examples we can take Mysore sandal, or his for the sandalwood fragrance, purity and natural fragrance of sandalwood. Margo soap is again for herbal or neem. Lifebuoy generally positioned based on the hygiene. These are again certain companies positioning themselves. Mercedes-Benz as always as a prestige brand, BMW positioning for the driving experience, Volvo for safety, Starbucks as a high-end coffee chain, Rolex as high-end watches, Google always positioned as search engine, Red Bull as an energy drink, FedEx as a courier service which is positioning themselves based on the overnight delivery. Visa cards again positioning that everywhere you can do the payment across the globe. So these are the kind of positioning that. So when a company develops a positioning strategy, the first thing the company has to identify is the competitive advantage it has got over its competitors. Second one, what are the similarities a product has with that competitor? And the third one is what are the differentiating factors compared to the competitor products. So these are the three things the company has to take into consideration: competitive advantage, point of parity or the similarities, then also the point of difference or the differentiating factors. So positioning results from the differentiation and the competitive advantage. So the competitive advantage you have over your competitor and the differentiation factor actually decides your positioning. And positioning may also change over time. So what is point of difference and point of parity? POD and POP. Attributes or benefits consumers strongly associate with a brand, positively evaluate and believe they could not find to same extent with a competitive brand. That is what all. That is only thing that is found in your product. Might be if it is price, let it be. If it is attribute of the product or the quality of the product, that has to be a differentiating factor. The benefit received by the consumer, that also can be a differentiating factor. And point of parity is association that are not necessarily unique to the brand but may be shared with other brands. So in positioning, one of the major strategy is of product differentiation. A positioning strategy that some firms use to distinguish their product from those of competitors. That is what is differentiating. You can differentiate based on price, you can differentiate based on benefit, you can differentiate based on ingredients, you can differentiate based on the manufacturer. All these are various kinds of differentiation factors. So especially for positioning, definitely companies actually set a perceptual map for the consumers. Perceptual map is how consumers perceive various brands in that particular category. So here you can see there's Nestle's Nesquik or the milk. It is a positioning for that. So they have actually developed a perceptual map based on the four factors, based on two factors basically. One is to which category it serves, whether it is an adult drink or a child's drink, whether it is of high nutrition or of low nutrition. And then they have placed various of these brands under these four areas. Some of them fall into high nutrition adult drink, some of them fall into low nutrition adult drink, some of them fall into low nutrition children's drink, and some of them fall into high nutrition children's drink. So again for chocolates, how the positioning is being done based on the perceptual mapping, based on quality and price, high quality, low quality, high price and low price. You can see Lindt as a premium brand with high price and very high quality. Ferrero Rocher, you can see high price but low in quality or medium in quality. You can see Mars with low price but a better quality, whereas KitKat, M&M and Cadbury, Dairy Milk all fall into the low price, low quality category. So if the company sees that certain areas are vacant, you can with very less competitors are there, you can actually even reposition to that area also. Here you can see high price and low quality portion is vacant. Why it is vacant? Because nobody will prefer a product with very high price and very poor in quality. So these are the positioning bases, how companies use positioning. Companies position based on attribute of the product, might be ingredient of the product and so on, based on price and quality, based on user application, okay, then based on the product user you can position. Whether it is a women user, you can actually do your positioning based on that. If you're actually focusing on children, you can position based on that. Then position based on the product class, whether it is a premium product, luxury product, or if it is an average or mediocre product and so on. Also positioning based on. So these are the two people who have actually developed the concept of product positioning or brand positioning, Al Ries and Jack Trout. They concentrate on the perception of the prospective consumers, not the reality of the product. So they always focus on. So this is a video which I'm just going to watch.
Journeys are not great or small. They just are.
All of you might be knowing about
They just are. Explorers were not born heroes.
Enfield. This is
They were just curious.
Royal Enfield, the Himalayan.
Explorers were not born heroes. Answer it. They were just curious. The sun will light your path. The earth awaits you. Follow it. Answer it. The sun will light your path. Follow it. The valleys will not stay quiet, and even time will not stand still. The valleys will not stay Sometimes quiet, the first step, and even time will not stand still. The final frontier. Sometimes the first step. Don't turn the final frontier. The mountains call us all. Don't turn around. The only difference is what we say. The mountains call us all. The only difference is what we say back.
Again, you can see Land Rover. Advertisement speaks about how they are positioning their product. That is for the high terrain drive or four-wheel drive kind of vehicles. Again, is shown in the advertisement, just the visuals gives a positioning. What is repositioning? Changing consumers' perception of a brand in relation to competing brands. So initially, sometimes certain brands might be positioned as a low price category, but after a period of time, they might actually move into another category also. So that is what we call it as repositioning. That is based on the demand they see in their consumer segment, or if they start addressing a different segment, that is also, you can say it as repositioning. Repositioning is necessary when preferences of the market shift. That is, initially people were preferring a particular kind of a product or a particular kind of pricing or a particular kind of ingredient in a product. Might be if the preferences of the market might have shifted, might be certain other competitors might have come into the market. So in that case, many of the brands, we see them repositioning themselves. Either they might be changing their tagline, some of them might just reposition by changing their logo. Some of them might actually change their product as a whole, or the way in which that is the way in which they market their product as a whole. So all these can be various kinds of repositioning strategies. We have seen the example, or we can see the example of Move. Move actually was positioned as a pain relief balm against us at that point of time competitor Idex. But later over the years, Move has been repositioned in various ways. Later, that's the first phase of repositioning of Move was as a backache specialist. Then they moved on to repositioning it for neck pain also, and now Move is actually positioned as an instant pain relief ointment. That is, it is mostly considered to be more than a natural ointment or an Ayurvedic ointment. It has changed to an instant pain relief ointment. And even they have changed the advertisement by using a new celebrity PV Sindhu into their ad. So this is how they have repositioned over the years. Another strategy was that of Milkmaid. Milkmaid condensed milk has followed 4 distinct successful positioning strategy till date. Initially, that is in early 1900s, it was launched in Europe as creamier or whiter for tea or coffee. That is, it was introduced or positioned as a milk substitute for tea or coffee. Then they understood that it was not actually clicking the market. Then they changed their positioning into the tastiest milk made. It had relevance at a time when fresh milk was in short supply in some parts of India. So this was how they introduced themselves in India and other Asian countries. Then they had to position, Milkmaid was positioned as a topper on fruits and puddings, just as an added on topping for fruits and puddings. Again, they found that it was not actually catching the market. So the final or the fourth positioning of Milkmaid was as that with dessert recipes as a ingredient for making any kind of dessert. So that was a repositioning that was being done by Milkmaid. So this is so today we have looked upon to, that is, what is segmentation, how do we go about segmentation, what is the relevance of segmentation. We have seen examples. Then we have moved on to how companies choose their target markets and what are the various target market or target marketing strategies. From there we moved on to, that is, how do we position or how do companies position their products into the consumer's mind. Basically, we talked about point of parity, point of differentiation, competitive advantage, and how companies position their product in the consumer's mind. We have also looked upon to what is repositioning. So with this, I conclude this part of the third module. Now you have got marketing research, a small topic back in third module, which we will be taking upon later. So after this, that is, you can just go through this presentation. You can read this presentation, understand, and then take up the quiz, which I'll be posting it in Linbase. Thank you.